Hello and welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. We have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We have to go back, unfortunately, before we can go forward. I say that all the time. So we have to go back to some bad news in Boston sports. The Celtics are not the world champions. They did not win Banner 18. No matter how much we tried to will this, they were up 2-1. They were up twice in the series, as Wick Grossbeck likes to say already. But that doesn't mean anything because they didn't win. And when taking a look back now, and it's been a week, I realized that it just wasn't the Celtics' time.
Yeah, no, it seemed like they mentally ran out of gas. You know,
hate them for sure.
The sloppy play, the turnovers were the big thing in the series, and that's a mental thing.
Yeah. You know, when you take,
I'll be shocked. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't come out that Jason Tatum's shoulder was an issue. Scotty, I know you don't like to hear excuses, but that shooting 3-pointers, it's a very finely balanced muscular motion, and if something's off, it can really change things. So I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm kind of the jury's out on that for me.
The defense was just too tough for him, and he was frustrated. Wiggins owned him.
Yeah,
Wiggins was all over him. He hadn't faced that kind of defense up to this point.
not with
But the
70th
biggest
season.
problem was they spent more than any team in history on their bench, and it showed. Their bench destroyed our bench.
Oh my God!
You know, I'm a G. White fan, but he couldn't measure up to the guys they were throwing at him. Grant was a waste of time. Pritchard.
It's the worst thing that ever happened in Grant Williams' career, having that big giant game.
That one game. He's been
He
terrible.
gave him a horse to, he got to the LeBron like after every foul call.
Yeah.
You know?
Let someone else pay him now. And with that same money, get yourself a veteran that's been in there before and will act like it.
Oh, I don't know if I'm giving up on Grant Williams anytime.
I don't know.
I'm not paying him.
Guys, he developed as we saw in front of our very eyes this season.
Oh,
From
yeah.
what Timmy said was a guy who shouldn't even be in the NBA, which Timmy was correct, to a guy that contributed greatly through 3 series in the NBA playoffs. Yes,
I think he still has some upside.
and also the value of in the Eastern Conference of Grant Williams being able to defend Giannis. That's great value on that, because how many people can do that and Grant Williams can't?
Yeah, I tell you, this team, its bread and butter was defense. And Grant Williams, this team was centered around defense, and Grant Williams was a part of that.
He's an 8th man.
Well,
he's an 8th man on the team.
5 minutes, 5 fouls.
Right. But so he's not the 6th man, right? The first guy off the bench, which is D. White. He's not the 7th guy who should be a shooter to be named later, right? A player to be named later right now that we don't know. And then the 8th guy is Grant.
Scott Wedman, where are you?
Yeah, right.
You know who, and I helped run him out of town, would be perfect in that 6-man
Oh,
role.
no, please don't say that.
Scary Terry.
Oh,
If we'd given him the money,
all right.
given him the money instead of Kemba, be a lot better off right now.
True. But Timmy, Terry Rozier was inconsistent.
Yeah, but he's the development of a fine player down there.
Yeah. Could we go get him back?
He would have fit right in with this team. Inconsistent,
Yeah, and he does. He's indifferent about playing defense too.
Oh, well, we'll see. Obviously, it's a program.
But he'd be a great 6th guy to continue the offense, so the guys could sit down and not just the offense disappear.
I don't think Ime is even going to give you a second look unless you are a defensive-oriented player for this team.
Yeah, I mean, and when the Celtics fans start talking about how they're going to trade Marcus and stuff, they're not trading anyone. No one's going, other than maybe Tice. Tice would go possibly. Otherwise, maybe Pritchard, if somebody's in love with him, maybe like a Portland where he's a local boy. Otherwise, they're just going to add some veterans.
Well, Grant would be a sign and trade because he's restricted free agent.
Right.
I mean, can we see Pritchard developing into that Steve Kerr drop dead 3-point shooter someday?
Wow, great
I
question.
don't think he has that in his ceiling, but he has. He should be better than he was in this final series.
Yeah, he went really cold. I mean, we need him. He needs to come in off the bench hot, which is hard to do, and just pour in threes when he's open.
The fact is that he should be replaced by Neesmith. Neesmith's bigger, stronger, better defense, plays better defense.
Guard wings too.
And guard wings, and came into the league as supposed to be a fantastic shooter, and he's done nothing.
Yeah, well, we'll see how he develops.
If he could shoot, I mean, if he could develop into a drop dead shooter, he'd really be something. But he hasn't shown that as of yet.
Well, this is a big development off season for Neesmith.
Oh yeah, this is where he's got to show why they drafted him. And I mean, the idea behind drafting him was a great one. They thought he was, what was he, the best shooter in the
in Vanderbilt.
NCAA?
Yeah. And then
he showed some great athleticism in this, in the playoffs. I mean, there are a couple of highlight blocks and things like that.
Well, Timmy was ready to run Grant Williams out of town. That was coming into
Now
his
we're
third
running
year.
Anthony
No,
Smith
no.
out.
So you'll give him some slack, Timmy, right? You'll give.
Oh,
Yeah.
Grant,
I mean,
this
no,
is fourth
yeah,
year.
I just would you stop his bitching and moaning, after every foul. I'm really kind of getting a little weary of that.
So Brad Stevens, and I have to be honest, Adoka and Stevens are the ones. Although Cora can talk frankly sometimes, but he's pretty much close to the vest. But those guys talk very frankly about what their needs are. If players aren't playing well, they're very honest guys, and I love that about the Celtics management. Would you agree there?
Yeah, they call a spade, and things they're honest about what their needs are too.
But they're fan friendly in that way.
Where they talk openly about their weaknesses.
But they're fan friendly. It's not like Belichick, who's absolutely just ridiculous. He's almost like some
Matt Jones has a bad day. He won't say it.
He's like a mentally disabled person up there in his press conferences. It's absolutely ridiculous. But
you know what I like? You know what I like? I think Ime has the swagger in the locker room that was necessary. That was an ingredient that was missing with Brad. And I think Brad has the intellect, and the willingness to pull the trigger that Danny didn't have. So I like where we're at right now, coaching and management. I really like where we're at.
Timmy, you talk about the Celtics not being a destination for free agents. Lots of talk is that the destination now is to play for Adoka.
Well, the reason why the Celtics aren't a destination is Wick has never really opened up the purse strings.
Yeah, right.
And our winter.
There's no indication he's going to do it this time.
No, Steven said he's going to.
And our winters have a little bit to do with that too. I mean, you put South Beach against Boston in February. It's not, or LA, or the Clippers, or. But I think with the Jays and the other guys that we have around them, if you get somebody, he's mid-30s, a superstar kind of guy. He's got enough money to support 3 generations of his family, and he's looking to get a ring. This might not be a bad place to come.
Look, Brad Stevens talked about the priority, first of all, is shooter.
So playmaker.
Shooter. Shooter. He said, this is what he said. He wants a shooter. That's what that obviously is a kind of a referendum on Pritchard saying that he's not that guy. But he obviously wants a big guy. He wants another wing. They would have 5 wings out there all the time if they could, right?
Oh yeah, that's the Brad Stevens model.
Everybody's 6'6", right?
They would love us, the shortest guy on the court to be 6'6". They would love
that. Talking about Josh Hart. Guy I like, but probably doesn't fit the defensive mode is Seth Curry.
He's been on my list.
Yeah.
From before he was traded to the Nets.
Yeah. Seth Curry. Now, Timmy, if the Nets blow it up, right?
Wait. Seth Curry, was he hurt, or is he didn't show me much in the series?
Oh, he was injured though. He was. Oh
no, we talked about he was fantastic into the series.
Yeah, he's a great shooter. He's not Steph for sure. He does
past actions that directly affected his new business partner was a huge mistake on his part. Roth had, without realizing, exposed himself.
That's it to me. Curry's a good shooter. He played really well against the Celtics.
Well, yeah.
I wasn't that impressed, to be honest. I wasn't.
Well,
I think he was the sleeper in that deal too.
Yeah, if the Nets blow it up, because we'll talk about it a little later. Timmy's got to be very happy that Kyrie
might be on the road again.
Yeah, so you got what you wanted with Kyrie, Timmy. Nobody wants him.
As long as he doesn't come to Milton.
It gives me joy. I'll tell you. If I'm worried about things and I have things I'm worried about, and I need a little joy in my life, I think about Kyrie Irving situation right now, and it warms me up. You know what I mean?
What warms me up as a hater of all New York sports is the fact that we know now. We predicted, of course, that Anthony Davis will end his career with the Knicks. That is a foregone conclusion, and he'll just be sitting on the bench, probably next to Gordon Hayward. And Kyrie Irving,
Yeah.
the rumors are that he may go to the Knicks or the Lakers. Perfect. You want to
Yeah.
ruin it? You want to ruin a franchise for another 5 years? Have Kyrie walk through the door.
Oh
Well,
my
things
God!
don't
And what
look
would be next year?
open.
Why will we have to take 2 or 3 weeks off in the middle of the season next year? I wonder if Vegas is putting odds out on that. You know, like what will cause Kyrie to say, "I don't feel like playing this week"? You know.
Because look, now that we can look back and see what the journey was and where we got 2 games away from winning a world championship, we realize a well-behaved Kyrie Irving, a guy who just comes up every day with his lunch pail, plays and stays with the Celtics, and like he said he was going to, they win that championship that this year.
If Mark is the off guard and he's the point guard, they win it in a walk.
They not only win, they win the next 3, at the very least 3 out of 5 championships.
And it eliminates half the turnovers because then
They went to the Eastern Conference.
Don't have to try to drive to the hoop.
Yeah.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Then he showed up, and you know Hayward blew his leg out, and he got whatever. But like his persona and his fake leadership, I think he regressed the Jays a year. Myself, you know, him being around, they kind of stopped doing what they were doing, and everyone just took a step back, and it was the Kyrie show for a year.
Of course, because there's a hierarchy in the NBA. I mean, these guys had Kyrie Irving posters on their walls, and now they're playing with them. But part of the turnovers was the terrible handle of Brown and Tatum. Nobody has a better handle in the history of the NBA than Kyrie Irving.
Well, they were supposed to be penetrating and pressing the defense, but Marcus just wasn't doing it in the finals. So with
all that talent Kyrie has, he's a poison pill, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Danny made the right move.
Yeah.
We didn't know that Kyrie was this insane.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. This has just come out in the last couple of years, the sheer insanity.
And to your point, Tim, he may have to tell Jason Tatum, hey, these guys aren't your big brothers. Stop treating them like that.
Yeah.
They're opponents.
And a healthy Gordon Hayward probably would have been pretty good, too.
Oh, absolutely. But
that doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist.
That's like a unicorn. It doesn't exist.
Because the guy, Hayward's one of the biggest dogs in the history of professional sports, Timmy. Can you just please come to grips with that?
It wasn't a devastating injury for 6 years.
Yeah. Grandpa Gordon is a stiff of all stiffs. And now the rumors coming out of Charlotte is they may revisit the deal of Miles Turner for Gordon Hayward. Anybody gives a bucket of balls for that stiff. Good luck to you.
And no one wants Miles Turner either.
Yeah, clearly.
What is Hayward? Is Hayward making $30 million a year now?
Yeah, close.
Yep.
Yeah, 30 million. Yeah.
Over.
He signed that contract with no intention of ever really playing an NBA game. He is the biggest phone. So he'll make over $200 million in his career. Very similar salaries to a guy named Al Horford, a guy who gives all the effort, all the time, has never cheated at the NBA of 1 second on the court. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Al's worth every penny we paid him. Even though he kind of disappeared late in the series here, too, though.
Yeah, he's old, and they've neutralized him. I don't know how they did it, really, but they did it.
Well, game 6, nobody was trying to keep him in it more than Al Horford. He was screaming for the ball and hitting 3-pointers. Look, I'll take Al Horford on my team any day. He stays in the team. Everybody stays. With this show, we have to make a vow, and especially Timmy, we are not going to try to trade Marcus Smart this offseason.
I don't think they will. I think they want to just fix things around the edges. They're more likely to trade Al, much to your dismay, than they have Marcus.
Offensively, would I like somebody other than Marcus in there? Yes. Defensively, would I like somebody else in there? No. So it depends on what you're talking about. What do you get from Marcus Smart?
You're not getting an upgrade.
No.
That's why you don't trade him.
No. This is very similar to a Kendrick Perkins deal. You'd be taking a step back with the hope that a guy like Jeff Green will develop. And they're at a point right now is the next moving forward is to win a championship. They were 2 wins away. You know, anything else is a step back. I mean, they've raised the bar.
Hopefully,
right?
we're just like, Detroit ascending, back in the 80s, and Chicago ascending, kind of taking those steps, those crushing defeats for a couple of years, and then you finally reach.
I think they especially I think Jason Tatum, when he looks back on this run now, he's going to say, I didn't think it would be this hard. Now he knows how hard it's going to be to go all the way to the finals and win it.
Brad Stevens made a great point in his press conference. He said, guys, because we started so slow and we needed to try to get to the playoffs, then we need to try to get to a proper seeding. Guys like Tatum and Brown played a hell of a lot of minutes that they probably shouldn't have had to do that. And because of that, once you start getting to those games, they all come and crash on you. And that's what it did. These guys were exhausted. They had nothing left. I think if you bring back the same teams, Warriors and Celtics, 3 weeks from now, and the Celtics are fresh and stuff, I'm going to bet the Celtics win a 7-game series against them. But right now,
we haven't brought up at all. We haven't brought up the Time Lord.
Look, he took it to another level.
Oh,
he's another one. Hopefully, we can keep him. Get him to an everyday player. He's an injury-prone guy because of the style of play. I mean, he's jumping out of the gym on every play, and that's got to take its toll.
I think we're gonna have to manage his time a little bit.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Well, that's why I think they need another big man. Tice didn't fill the role this year. We thought he would, but he didn't.
But he can be a regular season, Tice.
Tice
Yeah,
gave us
regular
a
season,
Tice gave us a little burst at the beginning, and then he just became Tice. I don't even think he was as good as the Tice of 2 years ago. Seems like he regressed a little bit.
It's going to be tough to get rid of Tice. If they could get any kind of deal, that would be incredible. But you never know.
What kind of money is he making?
Oh, 9 or 10, doesn't he?
Like 9 or 10 for like 2 or 3 more years.
Yeah.
He's got a long deal. But once they get to the last year, it becomes more attractive and stuff. So hopefully there's something they can do. But look, I don't mind Daniel Tice as the 10th guy on the team.
No, not since now.
But you're talking about nine or 10th guy, right? 9 or 10th guy off the bench, yeah.
But the problem is that you can play him against Milwaukee, but you can't play him against Miami, and you can't play him against Golden State. So and 2 teams that you could face again next year that Daniel Tice cannot play. And they have to consider that.
And the same for Grant Williams. So your bench is useless against those teams.
There's going to be certain guys. Yeah, they're going to look.
Grant sucked against both those teams.
Look,
Miami and Golden State just couldn't contend with the faster guy.
Yeah, when we talk about player development and then player evaluation, they were able to evaluate these players and how they played under the pressure of the playoff lights against particular teams. They know who they have to beat moving forward. They're going to find players that are suitable for that.
Well, it still goes down to Golden State's always going to spend a lot more money than the Celtics. The 2 LA teams always going to spend a lot more. So you got to be a little smarter about how you build that bench. That's where Golden State killed us. Yeah. Their bench was just light years ahead of ours. Matter of fact, in the regular season, you know what the Celtics bench finished? Or 26.
Yeah.
26 out of 30. They need to upgrade that
Big
bench.
Time. Absolutely.
And, I don't see you being able to upgrade the starting 5, Marcus Smart included. I see you're able to upgrade from Neesmith, Tice, Grant, and Pritchard.
But you have to remember, Timmy, last year we had the worst bench in basketball.
Now we had the 4th worst bench.
Should be a guy who's developing.
I'm going to give him another year. I'm not shoving him out the door, Tim. I'm willing to give him another year. I'm willing to give Pritchard another year. See how they develop. I mean, they're still young.
Hey guys,
know,
I
Robert Williams.
have to step away here for about 5 or 10 minutes. I apologize.
Okay.
All right, Timmy has ice cream that he has to put in the
Has to be
freezer.
delivered.
This is a priority.
Let me back up when I try to get
You
back.
come out, yeah, we'll let you back.
Don't worry, Tim. You're always welcome.
Look, Udoka needs to, well, we were just talking, Udoka Joe needs to manage the minutes right away. You're probably not going to see, just so you know, if you want to watch the exhibition season, you're not going to see much of the Jays in the exhibition season. Though he's going to
They
have
know
to,
the place. They
yeah.
know what they have to do. They gotta work on certain things, but I think just maybe the gods will see more time.
You're going to see a lot of guys, there's going to be some games that he may give away early on, like to sacrifice wins for minutes.
Look, he came up under Popovich, right? He was the assistant for Greg Popovich for 5-6 years. Pop is the one who's leading the charge on that load management
Infamous
type
for
thing.
that, right? Infamous for doing that.
Until the NBA jumped all over him.
Yep.
And so I think he may have picked up a tip or two on how to manage the Jays, Robert Williams, and those three especially have to be managed.
Yeah, Udoka was a first-year coach. He's going to be a hell of a coach second year. This is a guy you can tell. He's a hard worker.
Go back and learn from his mistakes.
He's going to critique everything he did wrong, even the stuff he did right. Really happy that Ime Udoka is the head coach of the Boston Celtics. A year ago, we didn't even know his name.
We couldn't pronounce it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And a year ago, like you said, Joe, great point. A year ago, we had, if I can remember, Carson Edwards, Taco Fall, Trey Waters, right?
Yeah, guys that didn't even belong in the D League.
Shemi,
Ojale.
my God, horrendous, right? So, like you said, we've upgraded a little bit.
Yes.
But now there's no excuse.
Yeah. I think Brad knows what a coach wants for a team.
Yeah.
He gave Ime his dream team, and now I think he can do a little better. The latest rumor was they're talking to Golden State about the 28th pick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And what would we give
In
back?
the first round? I don't know what they give back, maybe the 2 seconds and then or a trade exception, something.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see us get in the draft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Golden State will always spend more money.
Right.
Yeah, they'll take that. They'll give you something good for.
Oh, because a trade exception,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, well, there you go. That'd be fun. Make that night interesting. When is the draft?
And then you just draft a pure shooter.
Well, we did that before, Joe. How'd that
Yeah.
work out?
Peyton Pritchard was about 28. Wasn't he 28?
He's 20.
Right?
He was mid-20s. Yeah, but look, what he got exposed for. He's too freaking small. He's small.
Yeah, but I thought his defense improved immeasurably in the second half of this season.
Oh no, he's different. But offensively, what happens is in the regular season they stay back. They give you the 3-point.
Yeah.
The first round they start coming in a little bit. The teams, right?
Yeah.
The Brooklyns. The second round here they come a little more.
Yeah.
The Milwaukee's. The third round
Miami's
they're on
also-
top of you. The
And
championship.
They got a hand on you and
Yeah.
another one in your
And
face.
that was the difference, right? And slowly but sure, and that was the same thing with Grant. Grant was getting open threes.
Yeah.
Do you get
against
one?
the Nets. Yeah.
Not one
Yeah.
open three, right? So they have to learn from that, and they have to get. And the guy problem with Neesmith is he can't even hit a freaking empty shot alone in the regular season.
Yeah, he's got to get some confidence, and by giving him more playing time is the only way he's going to get it. So I think that'll play right into the giving the Jays more rest. Hey, like I said, you lose a few games, but you gain something by getting another role player involved.
Yeah.
And in increasing the depth of your rotation, that's a plus.
Look, last year at this time, we really weren't talking about the Celtics. We weren't that positive.
No, they went out like babies.
We were ragging on the Jays.
Yeah.
Some people wanted some Jays out the door. I never said Tatum go out the door. That I knew that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You would never do that. I could understand Jaylen Brown, but now you can't because Jaylen Brown at times is better than Jason Tatum.
He's mentally tougher. He's also a year older, a year longer in the league, but he is mentally tougher.
Physically stronger.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were worried, remember, going into the playoffs, he had that hamstring issue.
Well, he's been
never heard from again. He played through it the whole time, and he never heard one whimper.
Great point. Didn't even think about that, Joe. When we, the biggest negative label on Jaylen Brown was that he was injury prone.
Yeah. Well, obviously he'll play through it.
No,
I
think
most of them will play tough. Of course, Tatum reminded you every game. First time he touched the ball, grabbed the shoulder.
Yeah,
and then the rest of the game he's got playing with his hands above the shoulder.
He just played like he played like a young guy.
Yeah.
At the end, not finishing.
He's got a ceiling. The immaturity. That's one of the immaturity issues. The staying back and arguing with the refs while your team plays.
Still
4 on 5.
Still doing that.
And the other team gets an easy bucket because you're not playing defense.
Begging for calls that aren't going to happen. They all do it.
And especially when he's not even getting touched. Wasn't even touched in 90% of the time he's arguing.
They all do it.
Look for a call.
Udoka, I'm sure that's the first thing he's going to address in the new season. Cut the shit.
Yank Grant Williams off the floor. Grant was absolutely, what do you think you are?
He was yelling at Grant Williams, if you remember, I think it was in the final. He's like, cut the shit.
Yeah.
Go back, go and play defense. This is while the game is going on.
Yeah.
Grant looks at him and immediately starts yelling at the referee. He basically says, fuck you.
Yeah.
Now, based on what I saw, and again, it's all visual. We can make rumors. Shit like that will get you traded.
Oh, yeah. If the coach can't control you, then he can't coach you.
Look, Jason Tatum, he'll just keep on telling you to do it. He's not going to.
Yeah, you have to deal with Tatum.
You have to deal with.
He's the best player in the team,
right? Jimmy Johnson was famous for saying, if Troy Aikman does something and some schmucky guy, he cuts the schmucky guy, and then what does he basically go get Troy a drink?
Cut the shit.
No, he doesn't even say that. He pats him on the back and asks him how his family is.
Yeah.
That's because superstars don't grow on trees. Jason Tatum, look. We arguably have the best duo in basketball, right? Yep. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
So you're not getting rid of these guys. Grant Williams, easily replaced.
Oh, yeah. It's simple.
Does Grant Williams get a second on the court if he plays for Golden State?
No, he wouldn't have been. He would have been garbage time, but he wouldn't have been in their 8 or 9 rotation.
No. So there you go. There's where if you're saying stuff like, "Oh man, the Celtics should have won," no, Grant Williams would have.
Yeah, he was no Iguodala or Porter or any of those guys.
But we won Super Bowls because of the guile of Tom Brady and the head coach Bill Belichick. They weren't the most talented team most of the time.
Very rarely were they.
So if we want to even talk about most talented players, we may have had a more talented team, but that doesn't always win you championships. No. Timmy's trying to get in. Ian, can you let Timmy back in? Because the ice cream now, apparently I'm getting in my ear.
Melted anyway.
The ice cream it's frozen. Yeah. It's frozen. Timmy will be able to eat all the ice cream, and when you get to our age,
it is a lovely pleasure.
it's sometimes the best part of our day.
About the 6th inning.
Yeah, we have the Tony Soprano moments where you get your ice cream, you're on your couch, you're alone, darkened room, you're watching your TV. He used to watch with the history stuff, right? And then you just don't want anyone to bother you. The phone, nothing, nobody walk in the room, and you want you to have your ice cream moment. That's the love of ice cream. All right, we go to one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball. And I was ragged on about the 97 victories. It still could happen. It could.
I'm not feeling it still. There's some really bad teams in this league, and the Red Sox are really making hay with
Well,
the
that's-
Oakland A's and the Detroit Tigers.
But that's what great teams do.
Yeah, but then look at their record against their division, and they're like,
No, I know, but they were playing so badly against everybody. They were losing to the Orioles and stuff. This is a team that we could. Devers superstar third.
oh yeah.
Xander's a superstar
If
short.
Aaron Judge isn't in the league, he's MVP candidate.
Xander's a superstar at short. Trevor Story is a above average second baseman.
He's way above average as a second baseman.
Yeah, and he's right now statistically he's pretty good. I know he doesn't have the average, but he's productive. He's got RBI leader, I think top 10. So then all of a sudden he gets to first base. Literally nothing, zero. I can't remember this little production out of the first baseman for the Boston Red Sox.
On almost any team, forget just the Red Sox. I mean, that would be bad for the Detroit Tigers or the Oakland A's.
Yeah, Vasquez, wash. He's Vasquez.
He's a good defensive catcher, and he gives you some offense.
Okay, they don't even ask much from catchers anymore, Joe. Nobody steals.
Oh yeah, he's head and shoulders above 90% of the catches.
Okay, so you say above average?
Way above average.
Above average catcher in Major League Baseball.
Oh yeah, way above average. What's the average catcher hitting? 190?
So you think they re-sign him?
Oh yeah, Cora likes him. Cora beats him like a rented mule too.
No,
You
he
watch.
does.
By the end of the season, he'll have caught 130 games.
Well, that's
and he
their
won't
fault.
be able to swing a bat.
That's their fault for letting.
That's what happened last year. He couldn't even lift the bat up after.
Kevin Plawecki is an embarrassment.
Well, yeah, that's why he has to play all the games. And even the games that Plawecki starts, Vasquez is coming in as a pinch hitter and defensive replacement.
All right, wait, Ian, are you there? If Ian can hear us, if you can let Timmy back in. I don't know where he is. Please let Timmy back in. He wants right. But all right, so then we get to the outfield. The three outfielders, if you put all their production together, you wouldn't even get an average
Well, wait a
one
minute.
field.
Right now, from watching these last few games, very small sample, I say Jaron Duran stays in center field.
Oh, this just in. A knucklehead.
He's hitting the ball.
You're a
a ton.
knucklehead Tanner Houck, of course, is still not.
Oh, of course
vaccinated.
not. Yeah, he's not going.
Jared Duran is not vaccinated either.
Oh,
You got to be kidding me. This is not even
what do they have, an alt-right conspiracy down there?
But
in
this is
Worcester?
not even a vaccine thing. I'm not even going to get into that, even though that's insane
Nah.
if you didn't take it. The guy's trying to be a major league ball player, and then they're compromising their whole career. Possibly, like you talk about, generational money because they won't get poked.
And he's playing good. He was playing good. Yeah, make you forget Kike. Kike has been terrible.
Oh, but what you have in Kike is a potential trade guy that you could probably get a reliever for.
Isn't he a free agent?
He is, but still.
Oh, okay, deadline guy. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, I'll buy that.
So a team that's contending might be say, fine, we'll give you a middle reliever because we have some duplicates.
Well, I'm better go over and call Duran aside and say, hey, the Woo Sox need an outfielder too.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about going. Yeah, I know.
They got a lot of games with Toronto left. And what if they're in the playoffs with them?
Yeah, right. Oh, hold on 1 second, Timmy. We're trying to get a hold of Ian.
Yeah, but it has
Yeah,
been
we're
fun
trying.
watching the games these last
Ian,
couple of weeks.
is Ian there? Timmy's trying to get in. I'll try to email Ian. We're trying to get Timmy back in.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful couple of weeks. We're going to the game tonight. We'll wave you off from section 30.
yeah.
It should be a nice night. I forget who's going for the Sox tonight.
I don't know. It was Hill last night.
Yeah, but they're going against some guy named Screwball. So
Detroit.
Detroit's got some decent pitching. They just can't hit the ball. What do they average, like 2 runs a game?
Yeah, and the Erod situation, I don't know why Erod just didn't say his back hurt or something. Why do you even have to say personal reasons?
Well, you said mental health reasons, I think.
No, I heard he wasn't getting paid.
Yeah, well, the Players Association will grieve that and he'll get paid. if he all he has to do is go see the team psychiatrist and he gets paid.
I tell you something, Erod, that game he pitched, that was the game we were at, game 3, right? Or game 2 in Houston, against Houston. We were at 3.
Yeah,
Maybe it was 2.
yeah.
He was fantastic.
Oh yeah, he's a good pitcher, and Cora. No one gets the best out of him like Cora does. Keeps him on the straight and narrow. Keeps his head on straight. Whenever he gets out of line, Cora gets him right back in line. And that was the worst thing he could have done for himself for his personal development was go outside the Red Sox.
Well, clearly he didn't get that big of a contract, Joe. Clearly the Red Sox had no interest in giving him, retaining him in any way, shape, or form.
Look, Baltimore gave him to us for a song.
I know, but Joe, he was a productive pitcher for us.
Yeah.
They were paying him in arbitration probably around 11 and 12.
Yeah.
So they didn't even offer him that.
Yeah. What did he get? 15?
You probably like 15, 16. I think like 4 years. Yeah, $64 million.
Yeah.
I hope the guy can get his life straightened out because he was always a good pitcher.
Yeah.
And when you have a lefty pitcher, that's fun to watch. A good one.
And he had good stuff. Baltimore gave him to us because they couldn't deal with him anymore.
No, and they trade but
He's
they
a
also
head case.
no. If you remember, the deal was Andrew Miller, who was in the Orioles were competing.
He was the closer for a while.
Yeah, he was an effective pitcher. So, but to give for a rental, to give a guy like that a top pitching prospect, you're right. There had to be something off the field. Had to be, But look, that's how you can get great players. Is they have some garbage with them.
Oh yeah, Bill Belichick has made a living on that.
That's what we talked about with that
for 20 years.
The kid Jack Jones.
Yeah.
The one that they're talking a lot about out of Arizona or Arizona
Look
State.
at the chance he took on Gronkowski and how well that paid off. That paid off like jackpot.
Yeah, and look at that kid Hernandez. That were
that one didn't work out quite as well.
No, people had to die. I mean, wherever he was going to go, people were going to die.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. He was a bad omen.
Oh, yeah, that was a bad dude. If you spend a second of your life defending Aaron Hernandez, you need to question your life because that guy was a bad dude. And had he lived to 80, there would have been a lot of
bodies in this wake.
Absolutely. I don't know. But he was a really good player.
Yeah, he certainly was.
So JBJ, he is, now that he hit his 220, I'm gonna tell you,
I can accept him at 225, 230.
He, as a fourth outfielder, he is a perfect fourth outfielder.
Late inning defensive placement.
JBJ could have another 5 to 7 years in the major leagues, make like $4 or $5 million a year. Just being a fourth
He's
outfielder.
making $12 million.
Yeah, I know. He needs to get off. He's going to get off that deal. He's not getting that again. But he's a guy that, if you had him at the Red Sox at $3 to $4 million, it'd be a great deal.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
As a fourth outfielder. But the problem is, you got to get some production power-wise. So we like Duran, but is he a guy that could hit 15 home runs?
Yes.
You think?
I think he can.
Okay.
And I like his glove, and I like his arm. There's a lot to like about Jarren Duran. I didn't realize he was unvaxxed and can't go to Toronto now that they're opening a series with Toronto. Maybe that'll light a fire under Kike because I think I probably wasn't the only one that they should move on to Kike.
Well, he's on DL. I don't know what's happening with him. This really leaves them shortchanged for that series. Houck and Duran out of the series because they won't get poked. I am sure because I believe if you get vaccinated, that just one time that you are eligible to go
to Canada.
Yeah. So I don't even think there's a waiting period. So you got to think they're trying to convince him right now. Tanner Houck seems like kind of a head.
Well, a lot of the other guys took the poke after the team put a little pressure on them this year.
Yeah. So Ian, if you can hear us, Timmy is trying to come in. Timmy has put the ice cream away. He's put all the goodies away.
He only ate a little.
He's trying to get in back into the show. He's done his laundry.
He's got the cigar burning.
Yep. We're trying to get him back in. He's living the life of Riley, or what we call the life of Timmy.
Life of Hoey.
Look, I understand the media needs to cover things, and they're for sure with with Twitter and all this stuff. They're never going to ignore a story. But do we really need to hear about Chris Sale and the Florida State League or whatever the hell he is, rehabbing? Do we really care at this point?
Baseball announcers got a lot of time to fill, between pitches, and they fill a lot of time to fill. That's why I've enjoyed Eck and Millar with Obi there this last
Oh my God, yeah, they've been great.
They filled it with a lot of fun stories, a lot of great banter, funny talk, very entertaining.
Yeah, they're
much
fun.
more entertaining than the usual baseball stories about Joe Schmo in Cleveland and how he grew up poor and whatever.
Timmy's back. Hey, Timmy, you're back. Does he hear us?
He's in the backyard trying to figure out how to get on. And
Timmy doesn't realize he's on TV. Yeah. Wow, Timmy. This is, do I have to call Timmy now to tell me he's on TV?
I think you do. But going forward, this is, they got this road trip.
Timmy.
There we are.
There we are.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey, people will watch it. Just look at your phone, Timmy. Just everybody's concerned. I mean, we're getting calls and emails.
The elderly ladies at the nurse. The elderly ladies at the nursing home are up in arms, right?
They want to know what flavor ice cream.
Well, we get some cookies and cream for Colin. We get some fish food for Dad.
Oh my God! There you go. All right. Yep. I'm glad everybody's happy.
So what did I miss out on here, boys?
Oh my God! Joe has said things that will be engraved in stone across the Massachusetts area. That's how the brilliance that's coming out of Uncle Joe is second to none.
Hey, do we have time to bring up the U.S. Open all in here?
Go ahead. It happened in Brookline, Mass. Did you go at all?
I know. I did. I went to the Tuesday round, and I've played golf every day since then.
You just told me.
Those guys, what a spectacular event it turned out to be.
Yeah.
I mean, the town of Brookline should be proud. The country club should be proud. The whole city should be proud. It just could not have been any better.
Yeah, the course looked great.
It was. They really. I think the players loved it. They. You know what I loved about it, and it was brought up quite a bit, that the course was built around Mother Nature. They didn't move big boulders out of the way. They integrated them into the course. They very challenging. They made some par fours. You could go for it on your drive if you were feeling super brave, because these guys drive the ball like 360 yards these days.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way they did the old days, Tim. They didn't have the heavy equipment to move the boulders.
Yeah, I thought it was a classy event.
Yeah, and that little 130-yard par 3 is what lost Scheffler the tournament. So,
and look, if you're in Boston, there's a couple of Irish people in here, and a guy named Fitzy wins. That's going to be everybody's going to celebrate.
I think his family's originally from Ireland. They moved to England, but he was a wonderful story. He stayed in Jamaica Plain, my hometown, right on Dane Street while he was here, right behind Costello's Tavern.
That's where he was staying?
Yeah, he stayed with the family. He stayed with them when he won the U.S. Amateur, maybe 9 to 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and he stayed with the same family. They actually spent Thanksgiving with that family now.
Yeah,
his brother goes to Wake Forest. His brother just turned pro too. The one who caddied for him when he was 14 years old when that Fitzy won the amateur.
And with the old man, he knew how to play to the crowd with the Red Sox hat on.
Oh yeah. I think they're adopted Bostonians now.
Yeah, you put the Red Sox hat on, and everybody loves you in this town.
And that trap on the 18th will forever be known now as Fitzy's trap.
Yeah.
What a great shot out of that, huh?
Oh, spectacular.
Well, the kid showed balls. He went for it.
Oh my God, it was.
And
great.
He said he loves this course. Look, I hope in our lifetime it comes back to Brookline. I think Brookline, Brookline residents are going to bitch and moan. They bitch and moan, when the sun rises. But I think overall, it was very positive for Brookline. Obviously there was some parking issues, some traffic issues, but I think this was good for Brookline. We needed some good publicity in this town.
Oh, and the residents made a boatload of money. Everyone rented out the houses, the Airbnb.
Oh yeah,
and everyone made a boatload of money.
Yeah.
They're all happy.
Not all residents. I didn't rent my house out, but I'm not gonna do that.
I went over to the Tuesday round. And what amazed me,
I saw this little skinny waif of a guy hit a 6-iron like 240 yards. I mean, I could hit a 3-wood as hard as I could, and I'm lucky to hit it 240 yards. This guy hit it out of the rough 240. I don't know how it's physically possible to do it, but they all do it.
Yeah.
The mechanics are perfect, Tim.
Yeah.
All right, Joe and I got to head to the game, so we'll wrap this up. Bruins, who's the next coach? It's between Leach and Quinn?
Yeah.
Who gets it, Joe? Timmy?
I'm not a big Quinn fan, I got to be honest. So I guess I'll go with Leach.
Who gets it, Joe?
I'll go with Leach, too. He's got some local ties.
I think that they go with Leach because the last coach, Bruce Cassidy, he was in Providence first. He knew the guys. If you want to bring some young players up, they should be familiar with the coach.
Bringing up all young guys. That's how they're going next
Leach
year.
was the Providence coach. I think you know, if you like him and you're considering him, hire him. That's what you know. And then Patriots, it's coming, guys. Red Sox better start to continue to play well because once training camp comes, if the Red Sox are playing well, no one will ever think about them again this season.
After this next homestand, the Red Sox have 14, just before the All-Star break, 14 games in a row, all with New York, Toronto, and Tampa. They have a homestand with all three, and then a road trip.
So, Joe, do you think the season depends on those 14 games?
It'll tell us a lot. They've had a losing record with every team in the AFL East so far this year. Even Baltimore, AFL East.
AL East, yeah.
Yeah. No, look, they beat up on the bad teams, which is supposed to be. They're currently in the wild card. They would be in the wild card. So this is all we could ask for. The fact is, even if they're playing a lot better the whole season, Yankees are having a historic season right
fabulous
now.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they would be in the wild card anyways. I don't have a problem with that. I think the key is what Heim will do. We'll know very shortly. Does Heim consider this a contending team? I would answer from what I've actually read and heard this week. He does not consider them a contending team.
But the fans will demand, I think, and he'll have to listen because John Henry will be listening.
No, he's gonna just trade Rule 5 eligible guys. You watch. He's gonna do what he did last year. He's not.
That bullpen just screams for.
Do you think JD Martinez going by the end of the season?
Oh,
I kind of hope not. He's hitting like 340.
I think
he hasn't been hitting good lately. But I mean, some team there must be a team out there that would covet a guy like JD.
If they give him a good package, yes. Otherwise, nobody pays their DHs like the Boston Red Sox.
Wait a minute, is there a team option?
No,
it's a player option.
No, he doesn't even have an option. He's just a free agent. This is it. But I think they want to keep him. But if they get a good offer, they'll trade him. You know, which I completely understand, and maybe they re-sign him.
That line would fall apart without him. Like I know Tim liked him as the 6th, but I'll take him as the 4th or 5th too. You know,
yeah, I'll take him anywhere.
Terrible.
He's been fantastic. All right, we gotta go. We gotta go to the Red Sox. That's our show for tonight. I want to thank Ian, of course, behind the scenes. We want to thank, of course, the fellas. Please check us out on Spotify, the Grandstanders. Spotify. This is now not only the most popular TV show in the history of mankind, it's now a podcast. And we're on Spotify. Great work on Ian helping us out here. We're going to build this thing up so you're going to be listening to it at all times, especially when you're maybe putting your groceries away like Timmy and doing the laundry like Timmy. There you go.
Yes, I do it all.
Like Timmy.
I'm a catcher.
That's our show for tonight.
From the beautiful studios overlooking Harvard Stadium.
Absolutely. My name is Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.